customer service. I was the only one in customer service. All of a sudden, I see like 4 managers standing in line behind customer service, kind of like watching what I'm going to do. I didn't know what was going on. So I'm like, why are all these managers like looking my way, watching me and stuff like that? But I didn't think much of it. The patient or the customer or whatever comes to customer service trying to buy half jobs or whatever. And he's not even wearing a freaking mask, okay? Tell me how this man gives me cash. Why would you give me cash? That shit is gonna be transmitted. I got pissed and I left customer service. Like, I pushed the door open in customer service and I was like, can y'all clean this? Can y'all clean this? Because that man had, and I said the name of the virus in front of all the customers and stuff. Don't freaking play with me. That's what we not gonna do. Don't freaking play with me. You knew that customer or that patient or whoever this man was had the virus. All 4 managers knew. They watched me take care of the customer, not knowing that the customer told me that he had the virus. So if this customer didn't tell me anything, me being friendly and being the good employee I am, I could have been like, so how's your day? Ha ha ha. And he's not wearing a mask. I could have gotten that. They're not following HIPAA when they telling one another, but yet they don't have the audacity to tell me, who's the one who's taking care of the customer. You got me bang. I got so upset. And it's the same manager who would make me take off my gloves, take out my mask when the whole virus first started. You know, I felt so disrespected. I felt so played. And like, I didn't do them how I should have, because I really should have just thrown a fit in the middle of the store. No, is that professional? Absolutely not. Could I handle it better? Absolutely. I could probably just call corporate and said something. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, what is it that they can tell me? What can they use? Oh, that it's HIPAA? If it was HIPAA, why are you telling other managers? You know what I'm saying? Like, the first person you should tell, if anything, would be the person who's dealing with that customer or that patient. Don't think it's safe just because you see that, oh, Publix is taking the precautions. This doesn't mean that people who have the virus aren't going in there. Grocery stores are probably one of the most infected areas. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we clean. Yes, we're on top of it. Stuff like that. Yeah, I get it. But all kinds of people have to go to a grocery store, including those who are sick. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm bringing back another Publix retail company story time. Now, these story times y'all seem to be loving, so I'm here to bring it to y'all because if you new here and don't know, I work at Publix. I work in a small store. We be, you know, experiencing a lot of drama there that I can speak on, and I am just glad that it is of your interest. So before we get started, if y'all could please like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all know what it is. We're on the road to 5K. So let's go ahead and get into it. In today's story time, all right, I love bringing back these story times because it just brings back like the most funny and good memories. Not that this was like a funny memory or a good memory at the time, but now that I look back at it, I'm like, okay, I guess it's kind of funny. By the way, I'm going to be doing a detox clay mask on my face because I just finished popping a bunch of my blackheads. I don't know if that's nasty to some of y'all, but not everybody got $100 to spend on facial, so I kind of got to do my own. And yeah, this stuff works great, Muddy Buddy. So I gotta get more now for Christmas. I should probably do like a Christmas wish list because I know people be watching that on Amazon. I mean on YouTube. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get into it. So basically, ever since the pandemic started, I feel like Publix really, you know, I know it was something new for everybody. Like, I get it. I get it. But I feel like Publix should have allowed their workers to handle it the way they felt necessary. Like, I don't think they should have been put in so many rules. And the reason I say that is because when the whole pandemic happened, first of all, I know people who work in the medical field and stuff like that, so I was oriented at the time. I was working in a medical office, so like I knew what was going on, right? Like, I knew this, baby. Like, this wasn't new to me. I knew this. And I had heard about the severity of, you know, the virus, right? So I went to Publix and I went wearing, let me start with my nose because I literally just like popped a whole bunch of blackheads on my nose. So, and how funny, because we're talking about the virus, so I was like, let me go ahead and do this mask. It's green. But yeah, so anyways, I went into Publix and I was wearing gloves like on my hands. And I remember my managers were like, oh, Patricia, you can't wear that. And I was like, you know, like, oh, I don't feel comfortable not wearing it. And they're like, either you take it off or you have to go home. And I was really, really upset. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, they don't know who in my family it is that I'm seeing. Like, because, you know, my grandma went through cancer and stuff like that. So they don't know that I really can't, be around this virus. Like, I really cannot risk getting it because I be seeing her, and like, they don't know your personal story. So I don't know why they were not allowing us to take the precautions needed. Basically, their story behind it was that, we don't want to scare the customers, so don't be wearing gloves and masks because we don't want to scare the customers. But I was like, bro, the customers is already scared. Have you seen social media? Number one. Number two, I could care less if the customers is scared. I could care less if the customers is scared, to be honest, because I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get my family sick. So because we don't want the customers to be scared, all your employees is going to get sick. Then Publix is going to be scared when there's no employees able to show up to work. So I was really upset at how they were handling the situation since the pandemic started. But you know what I'm saying? Like, what I did was obviously follow the rules. I kind of like tried to wear my gloves and masks and stuff when they weren't looking. I definitely spoke to other managers and stuff about it because I was just like not happy with that rule. I was like, what do you mean we can't wear it? Like, the CDC is saying that we should wear it, but the customers could wear it, but not the employees, until finally they uplifted that rule. And then they were like, yeah, you can wear, gloves and face masks. And I was like, all right, y'all just said no, now you say yes. And I think that was like bad because they were willing to not have us show up to work if we wore face masks and gloves. And even though that was what CDC was saying, they didn't want us to scare the customers. And that is why I made another video. The number one reason employees leave retail companies, employees leave Publix, is because they feel like they're not the priority, or not even the priority, but they just feel like everything is for the customers and nothing really gets for them. And I'm not saying that's always the case scenario, because I know Publix does a lot for its employees and stuff, but bro, like, that was not one of the times we don't want to scare the customers first. That's not you even putting the customers in front of us. That's just you being stupid, because we're showing up to work. It's not like no one's going to work. That would scare the customers if no one went to work. We're showing up to work. We're just trying to take the precautions because y'all don't know what we deal with when we go home and stuff like that. So anyway, finally, right, they allowed us to start wearing our gloves and masks and whatnot. So obviously, I would wear it, especially at the beginning. I took some time off. I was really, really scared at first, like, about this whole virus and stuff. And then I went back to work. And I remember one day I was in customer service, and I'm never going to forget this. I think this was such a, like, bad move from the manager at the time, who's no longer the manager on my store. And he wasn't the store manager, but he was a manager in my department. And there was this person who walked into Publix who had the virus, right? And this was at the prime time where there was no vaccine, there was nothing. It was just kind of like, if you get it, you might be screwed. And I was scared. Like, I was one of those people who was really scared in the beginning. Like, I took time off, and my managers were like, Patricia, you've taken 3 months off. You need to come back to work. And I was like, freak, I have to go back to work. I don't want to lose my job. But I was like so scared. And the reason I took the 3 months off and took those, I guess, extensive measures was because when I was working, but just taking the precautions, y'all told me it wasn't okay. So y'all gonna tell me it's not okay, then I don't want to work here right now. Then you know what? That's fine. I can't wear my gloves. I can't wear this. That's fine. I will not be working here for 3 months, 4 months, until whenever I feel is ready. But 1 month turned into 2, 2 into 3, and it was getting a little extensive. So I knew I had to go back. So eventually, like, obviously I did, and by the time I went back, we were allowed to wear gloves and stuff like that. So it was kind of like, y'all would have never lost me if y'all just let me handle it the way CDC said to handle it, which is essentially how Publix ended up handling it long term. Now, this patient came into Publix and he had the virus, and no one knew he had the virus. He went to pharmacy and picked up his medication, whatever. Pharmacy was like, knew obviously that he had the virus. This is not when I was working pharmacy. I was definitely in customer service. So I guess someone in pharmacy told one of the managers in customer service that, like, that patient has the virus, right? So I was in customer service with me and the team leader, who also knew that this man had the virus. Tell me how all of a sudden everyone fled customer service. I was the only one in customer service. All of a sudden I see like 4 managers standing in line behind customer service, kind of like watching what I'm going to do. I didn't know what was going on. So I'm like, why are all these managers like looking my way, watching me and stuff like that? But I didn't think much of it. The patient or the customer or whatever comes to customer service trying to buy like I don't know, some cough drops or whatever. And he's not even wearing a freaking mask, okay? And he was the one, he was like, look, I don't want to be a phone. I don't even know what he said, but he was like, I just got diagnosed with the virus. So he was like, you know, please, like, just stay away from me. I just want to pay for this, da-da-da. Tell me how this man gives me cash. Why would you give me cash? That shit is going to be transmitted. So anyways, I still rung it up and everything. Like, I did everything. And when the customer left, I got pissed. And I left customer service. Like, I pushed the door open in customer service. And I was like, can y'all clean this? Can y'all clean this? Because that man had, and I said the name of the virus in front of all the customers and stuff. Don't freaking play with me. That's what we not going to do. Don't freaking play with me. You knew that customer or that patient or whoever this man was had the virus. All 4 managers knew. They watched me take care of the customer, not knowing that the customer told me that he had the virus. So if this customer didn't tell me anything, me being friendly and being the good employee I am, I could have been like, so how's your day? Ha ha ha. And he's not wearing a mask. I could have gotten that. You know what I'm saying? I limited, you know, conversation. I limited touching or like, not touching, but like getting close to this person and stuff like that. Because he himself told me that. But these managers knew, and they're telling one another. So nobody can even come to me with some HIPAA, I don't want to hear none of that. I know about HIPAA. I worked in a medical office before I worked in a freaking pharmacy. I signed all the papers. I know about all that HIPAA stuff. But they're not following HIPAA when they telling one another. But yet they don't have the audacity to tell me who's the one who's taking care of the customer. You got me bang. I got so upset. And it's the same manager who would make me take off my gloves, take out my mask when the whole virus first started. So like this manager, you know what I'm saying? Like I wish them the best. They weren't bad managers. You know what I'm saying? Like I've dealt with bad managers who just because they have a good moment doesn't necessarily mean they're good managers. I think these managers in specific, like they're not bad managers. But in that moment, I think they behaved like complete trash. I also felt super, super offended. No, they don't know my like personal story or case scenario. Okay, I get it. You don't know my story. But in my head, I know my story. I know that I'm going to go see my grandma who's real sick. So I cannot be risking getting this virus. You know what I'm saying? But I also need my money. I need to pay to go to school and stuff like that because school never got canceled. School was never free. School was online, but you still had to pay. So, you know, it was just a lot of things like that. So I took it personal because I'm like, damn, bro, like I got to go see my grandma after this who's sick. And now I'm risking getting sick. And these freaking managers ain't telling me nothing. Like, you know, I felt so disrespected. I felt so played. And like, I didn't do them how I should have because I really should have just thrown a fit in the middle of the store. No, is that professional? Absolutely not. Could I handle it better? Absolutely. I could probably just call corporate and said something. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, what is it that they can tell me? What can they use? Oh, that it's HIPAA? If it was HIPAA, why are you telling other managers? You know what I'm saying? Like, the first person you should tell, if anything, would be the person who's dealing with that customer or that patient. You know what I'm saying? So, definitely, I felt very, very upset. You know, anybody would be. It was the beginning of the pandemic. Everyone was freaking out. No one knew what this virus was. There was no cure. I'm dealing with other stuff. So, it was just not good. And after that, the managers came and they, like, wiped down the thing. They took the bill. I remember the guy paid with a freaking $100 bill. Like, on top of everything, he pays with a $100 bill. And I had to give him change because he bought, like, cough drops. So it was, like, a lot of change that I had to give him. It was just ridiculous. So the manager came. They took the $100 bill and yada, yada, yada. And I remember the customers that were in line were looking at me like, oh, like, probably like, what is she doing? And I wanted to just yell at him and be like, that man had the virus. All the managers, y'all just seen them. They were just standing there like a freaking, I don't know, football team. They were like the bench warmers on the side, just staring at me deal with this patient who had, you know, the virus. Like, y'all not, let me stop, bruh. It happened so long ago, and like I said, it's not necessarily funny now, but it's like I'm over it because thank God, like, thankfully, I didn't get sick. I was cool after that. I took all the precautions needed. I've yet to, I don't want to jinx it, you know, God forbid. I've yet to receive the virus. I feel like I wash my hands, guys. Wash your hands, disinfect everything. Just because there's a virus, just because there's a vaccine out does not mean to limit all the precautions you were doing. I work in a pharmacy. I've seen people get really sick or unfortunately pass away because of this. So I don't think it's time to just sit back and relax and, you know what I'm saying, just take it lightly. It's not a light issue. It's never been a light issue, you know? But I'm just grateful that, you know, it didn't cause something worse to happen with me, because I was physically there with this man. I touched the same money he touched. I was on the same counter he was at. You know what I'm saying? And I was just upset also with the way the managers handled it. But that's about it. After that, I have had a few experiences, I feel like, with people who have the virus, but it's a little different in pharmacy because you have the divider in front of you, and I can't speak too much about that because that's, you know, stuff that's going down in the pharmacies. It's a different department. It's a department that I'm actually working for right now. And, you know, we do take our precautions and stuff, but that's why I'm telling you guys, don't think it's safe just because you see that, oh, Publix is taking the precautions. It doesn't mean that people who have the virus aren't going in there. Grocery stores are probably one of the most infected areas. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we clean. Yes, we're on top of it. Stuff like that. Yeah, I get it. But all kinds of people have to go to a grocery store, including those who are sick. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a party or a bounce house. Not everyone is going to go to that, but everyone's going to go to the grocery store. There's always something that someone needs. So be mindful, and I hope this video helped spread awareness. And it was just fun speaking on that experience. So with that being said, I'll just go ahead and conclude today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.